everyone, Kim here, Abundant Life Tarot. Welcome to the channel. I'm excited for this video. Today we are discussing my most used, or my top most used tarot and oracle decks. But these are my independently produced decks, right? I baby my decks, especially my indie decks, and it says a lot if I am called to use an indie tarot or oracle deck. And I decided to combine this list into one video, and that's what we're doing today. I'm going to switch camera angles and share with you the decks that I was loving on, that were independently produced and that I used a lot. Because the thing is, I do use my mass market decks. I tend to use those a lot more regularly, probably because in the back of my mind, I know I could probably replace them. Whereas some of my more rare decks, my out of print decks, my indie decks that I spent a lot of money on, I tend to keep those on the shelf as collector's items. So it says a lot when an indie deck is worked on my table day in and day out. So that's what I'm sharing with you all today. All right, let's switch camera angles and let me get to sharing with you. So let's discuss the first deck, deck number 10. It is the Theta Wave Oracle, first edition. And my copy is number 266 out of 500. There are two editions. And the second edition is actually, there's only about 40 decks left that she's selling on her Etsy shop. Leona Graves is the creator, and Leona has indicated that there were two print runs, right? 500 decks for each print run, and now there's only 40 decks left out of the second edition, and then it's done. So I feel lucky to have this one. So we have that. There is no guidebook that comes with it because she has a wonderful guidebook where you can print it off on like a PDF on her website, which I did. I actually printed it and put it in a spiral bound guidebook situation. So I have the meanings, but really you don't need them, in my opinion. So here's the backs. The finish has like a rainbow type front, is how she calls it. It's like a holographic, iridescent kind of feel to it. So that may or may not appeal to some people, but I really enjoy it. We have here defenses. Ascension. Luck. Invitation. Opportunity. I love the way it shuffles. I love the little size of it. Dream. I usually use this deck for part of my New Year's readings. Dream. Agreement. And I'll show you which deck I sometimes use it with. I actually use this deck with any tarot deck. But I have you know me and my tarot oracle combos. I have a combination for this one, a specific tarot deck that looks and goes well with it. Freeze. Unplugged. TV is unplugged. Recognition. Treat. Perseverance. I like that one a lot. Haunted. Let's see what else. There's love. Change. Survival. cornered. So I'll show you now. Oh, I want to show you a couple more. This is an interesting one. It says trick. And then escape. I like that one. So I'm going to show you the tarot deck that when I got this deck, this is the tarot deck that I had in mind that it would go with. It's the 8th house tarot, an astrological tarot deck, and it is a first edition, but this is not a part of my main list that we're discussing today. But I just wanted to show you why I like these two together. So let's just look at here. Judgment and layers. So we've got that same finish here for both of the cards. It's quite fun. Okay. Here's Ace of Fire. Let's see. Let's do playtime. And again, this is not a finish that's going to work for everyone, but it works for me. Works for me. So, like Page of Earth, and then we have Harmony. It's beautiful. So yeah, the Theta Wave Oracle, and that is my number 10 on here. And I have had it for a few years. I wonder if it says on here. It doesn't, I don't believe, when it was printed. But it was a few years ago that I got this deck, and I still have it. And I still very much love it. It's very much one that I grab every year without fail. And I'm still in the midst of still doing New Year's readings. So it comes out during this time of year for readings. But I use this deck also throughout the year, but it has a primary purpose for my New Year's spreads that I like to do. All right, that's the Theta Wave Oracle. So next one is another oracle. This is in this bag. I don't have it in the box. I don't know where I put the box actually. I know it's somewhere around here, but I don't have it on hand. I just keep it in this cute little bag here. It is my Memento Mori Lenorman and Oracle deck. It has this great little guide booklet. Okay, it's well loved and well used. I use this quite a bit, or I use it often, usually during autumn time, although sometimes I'm just called to use it throughout the year. I fell in love with it when we were doing the Antique Anatomy Tarot study in the Abundant Life Tarot Facebook group. So there's the backs. I fell in love with it, and what I love about it is that you can get expansion packs through Claire Goodchild's Etsy shop, or I don't know if she has a website or not, but I've been eyeing a couple of expansion packs I want to add to this one. I don't need it. There's not much else I want to add because this is quite an expansive deck in and of itself. It is part Lenormand, so it's got the full Lenormand cards. Of course, she has her own little style to it, and she's changed names of the certain items, but it's still a Lenormand. And then there's the Oracle. The rest of the cards are Oracle. I treat this all as one, or like as an Oracle. I don't read it as Lenormand. And yeah, you can though. You totally could take out the 36 cards and use it as a Lenormand, but I just choose to use the entire deck as my Oracle. Hourglass. Great little guide booklet. I have beat it up terribly. I need to restaple it. Clearly, I love it very much so. It's held up to a lot of use. I'm grateful for that. You know, It's not everybody's taste. It might be a little morbid for some, or, you know, macabre, but I think it's really cool. I really do. And so I have from Claire Goodchild the Oracle of Oddities as well, but I don't use that one as often as I use this one. And it's not to say I don't like the Oracle of Oddities. I've got all the expansion packs for the Oracle of Oddities. And I have the Antique Anatomy, which is the mass market edition of her tarot deck. The original tarot deck name always escapes me, always. But anyways, yeah. So clearly, I'm a fan. I am a fan. Okay, that's it. I will be sure to link, if I have an unboxing or a flip through or a deck in focus of any of the decks I'm discussing today, I'll link it in the description box so you can see a full flip through. All right, that is the Memento Mori by Claire Goodchild. Now we're at number 8. This is another Oracle deck. So we have here the Healers of the Earth Oracle. Here is the guidebook. Nice. All right. Nice guidebook here. Very detailed. Reverse messages too. And key phrases. I mean, it's a solid guidebook. I consult it from time to time. Nice box here. I think this is a first edition, but I'm not 100% sure. It's a 73 tarot-sized card deck, divination cards and guidebook, right? I don't keep it in the box. It actually came with a beautiful bag, which, let me see if I have it here. Do I have her guidebook or bag? I do. So not only did it come with this box, it came with this gorgeous little bag, the book, and then the deck. Silver gilding. It does have, my edition has borders, and I know subsequent editions do not have borders. And I think they may even make matte textured decks now, or matte cardstock. I have glossy. It doesn't bother me though. It's used all the time. I keep this deck on my reading table, and so that lets you know that I consult it from client readings for myself from time to time. It is something that I do like to have readily available. One thing I wanted to mention about it, it says this card deck contains 73 tarot-sized cards grouped into categories of 8 cards each and 1 extra card, card 0. Categories include air and atmosphere, land and earth, fire and smoke, water and rain, ice and snow, industry and technology, purification and release, spiritual hygiene, and health and healing. Wow. Okay, and we'll just go through a couple of the cards. I'll be sure to link a walkthrough video of some sort. I'm pretty sure I have one. What I really appreciate about this deck is that it has the keyword and then these little sub keywords below. So miracle, healing, answer prayers, remission. So really and truly, you don't, and look, empathy and relationships. The card backs have the little categories that these cards fall under. So you don't necessarily need to consult the guidebook unless you want to. On here it says purification and release. Okay, and it's reversible. Hence why she has reversed meanings in the guidebook. Breathing room, freedom of movement, space, and ease. I love using this reading or this deck in client readings, feng shui, butterfly, change, renewal, releasing obstructions, because it just reads so easily for me. And it has great prompts here with both the imagery and then the keywords. And then if I feel called to delve a little bit deeper, maybe for a reading for myself, I have this 200-page guidebook to go through. Don't forget your umbrella, foresight, preparedness, contingency plan. How fitting, it's starting to rain outside right now. The karmic scales. So yeah, that is the Healers of the Earth Oracle. Let me know what you think of these decks so far that I have in constant rotation in my collection or on my reading table. So now we have another twofer, but it's for number 7. And the only reason it's a twofer is because it's by the same creator. So I'm kind of cheating in this way. It's a top 10, but I'm breaking my own rules. So the next one I want to talk to you about is the Dreamer's Journey Major Arcana Oracle. Okay. And this is by Allison Williams Yee, the creator of Soul Trees Oracle, which I have here. These are a couple of my older indie oracle decks that I've had for a long time. My very first video on the channel, my very first video was a walkthrough of this deck, of the Dreamer's Journey. I am always a fan, and I will always say this, oh, deck creators, hear me loud and clear. I love an oracle deck that is tarot size. That's just me, though. I know that's not for everybody, but it works for me. So let's show you these cards. What's cool about them is that they have the major arcana depicted. Some of the names are changed, but then it's not just the major arcana. It also has additional oracle cards, like for this one, Uncertainty, Family, Mastery, and it's got little key phrases here at the bottom, and of course images of trees, or I don't know, this doesn't appear to be a tree, but upheaval is traditionally the tower. Okay, we have Journey. They just read so well. I used to read with this deck primarily for readings for myself, and it really, when I was early in my tarot journey of getting ready to read for others, I would incorporate this deck, and it just read so easily for me. I was able to really interpret the meanings with ease and flow and get to know the majors so well with this deck. Determination. And so I fell in love with it. Death. Manifestation. Reflection. Inner awareness. So I keep it on my reading table today and nowadays, and use it quite a bit in client readings, and of course readings for myself. So it's still very much in heavy rotation, and I really appreciate it. I know that this is traditionally the Lovers. I know that the creator has since redid this deck and made it larger, like more traditional oracle size. And I'm so glad I got it when it was this size. Calm. Surrender is traditionally the Hanged Man. Vulnerability. Overwhelm. So now I'm going to show you. I want to look at the Magician. Isn't that gorgeous? Now I'm going to show you just a few of the Soul Trees Oracle cards. I'm pretty sure I have a flip through or unboxing of this deck. And of course, this one doesn't have a guidebook, but it doesn't need it because it's got the little key phrases here. And it's got a little white book. And it is, what, 80? Yes, 80 cards, this one. Again, tarot size. And I am a huge fan of trees, so that's why this deck does it for me. Unique gifts. Maybe not everyone's into trees or this art style or this pastel-y, coloration, but I love it. I use it a lot with my Herb Crafters Tarot, but it also reads just well with any any tarot deck you may have. Just be celebration. Let me see if I can find any birth, any of my favorites. Let's see, initiative. I'll just show you some of the darker ones because not all of them are pastel-y. Inner voice, like that one. Let's see, I love guidance. Don't worry, I have some tarot decks I'm going to show you, but I'm going through a lot of my oracle first. Then I'll save the tarot for last. Awakening. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, there's one other dark one I want to just show you all. But for time's sake, here's patience. Oh, I see it. Clarity. Yeah, I really love these two decks. They're stuck. And I used to use them in conjunction with each other, but now they branch out on their own. They're not joined at the hip anymore, so to speak. All right, that is the Soul Trees Oracle cards and the Dreamer's Journey Major Arcana Oracle. Okay, now we are talking about this next one. It is another Oracle deck. Don't worry, the Tarot decks are coming. I want to get the Oracle decks out of the way. We have the Career, let's see, okay. The Career and Money Oracle. And I got this on Etsy. And I'll leave in the description box the flip through of this deck with all the details about the creator and all of that good stuff. But yeah, I got it on Etsy with a specific desire to have a career and money oracle that I could use primarily for readings for my clients, but also readings for myself. And it gets heavily used in my reading practice, okay? It's got 3 bulleted point meanings here. There is no guidebook. It is not necessary. It is glossy, but it really has withheld a lot of shuffling. It really has, in my opinion. Unexpected. It is balanced. I think it's 100 cards, if I'm not mistaken. It's well balanced. And I just, everybody has their own career money oracle decks that they gravitate towards. This is just one that really, truly resonated with me. Legal. The Artist. It can give you different occupations. It can give you different conditions that you may be in or experiencing. It can, voice, for example, it will say, okay, maybe consider careers in radio, public relations, or anything in communications. Or it may be speaking more about, you holding back your voice. It says the only thing holding you back is your inability to speak your truth. That's one of the bullet points. And then the top bullet point, get your message heard and get noticed. You have much to share with the world. So it hits on different points that may be relevant in the reading. And I know that the creator in my apologies, the creator's name escapes me at the moment, but there's been a later edition there's been changes to this deck, but I paid a pretty penny for it, so I'm not really in a rush to get a new edition unless this one started to give out on me, and it hasn't. I've had it for a couple of years now, for sure. For at least almost 3 years now. Pretty sure. I've had it a minute. It's been a while. So yeah, that is the Career and Money Oracle. So here is another cheat. So this is for number five, and we're talking about the Situations Oracle, okay, by Intuitive Envisions 1111. My friend Queen Aset sent this to me, and actually on my wish list for a moment, and I'm just so grateful for it. I'm so grateful. And then I have the Untold Truth Hidden Dark Secrets Oracle by My Ugly Truth Tarot. Now you're probably wondering, well, why are they combined together? Why did you feel the need to talk about them together? Because they serve a specific purpose in my reading practice. I primarily use these decks, I would say 95% of the time, for client readings. Oftentimes for relationship type of readings. They're not necessarily used for my readings for myself. I sometimes use the Situations Oracle more so for myself than I would this one for myself. Like readings, you know what I mean. Sorry, the rain is just really picking up. It's been raining all day. But I use them a lot in conjunction with one another with the tarot for client readings, and they are just so accurate. They really cut to the chase. I'm so grateful for them in my professional reading practice. So let's look at them, shall we? We have racing, running, and avoiding on here. Today, drastic, extreme, harsh, cut off, denial, not facing truth, irrational reasoning, wish. It's got the different little bullet points, and you can, use all of the keywords on here, or just one that you feel that really resonates with the situation. We have bounty hunter, chaser, hot pursuit, magnetic, children, lockdown, mental prison, confined, ascension. So it's obviously these decks aren't going to be for everyone, especially those who may not be doing readings for themselves. I could still see using this one in particular for readings for yourself, absolutely. But I can understand why some people may not be drawn to it, but I was instantly drawn to it because I do professional readings. TikTok, deadline, time running out, receipts, proof, show me. So we'll show a couple of more. Insatiable, unquenchable, wanting more. My clients love this deck, by the way. They've said it. I even had one client buy a copy for herself, and then I'll do a reading, and then she'll later try to, throw cards for herself and, and deepen her reading experience on her own. Pretending, fake, living beyond means, trash, discarding, throwing out. So I'll stop there with that one. This one is a little more difficult to digest in terms of messages. This is a big dog. I don't always pull it out for readings because my clients aren't always in a place to be able to accept what comes out in these cards. But oftentimes, I'll say most times, I can sense when this deck needs to be used. Money hungry, gold digger, and power control. So you can use all of these or only one or two of the key phrases, right? Addictions, alcohol, substances. Moving residency, relocating. Not all of the messages are difficult to digest, like moving. It depends, I guess, on the situation. Conflict, arguments, clashing. Repeating cycles, not learning lessons, patterns. And I love it because it's super handy. It's easy to handle because it's tarot size. Fear of commitment or marriage. This one comes out a lot in client readings. Projecting, blaming game, reverse psychology. This one comes out from time to time. Backstab, painful betrayal comes out quite a bit. Oh, this is a nice one. Grateful, appreciation, grateful for meeting you. It's a nice one. Good news, positive information, finding out. So it's not all bad. See? Clinging, obsessive possession. This one comes out a lot. This one too, liar, pathological liar, caught lying. So some of them, they come out a lot. Like this one too, secret, secrecy, hiding. This one comes out and quite frequently. It says commitment, long-term relationship or marriage, but it's usually like one client, or a client who wants this, and then her partner may or may not want it. So, single, non-committal, emotionally unavailable, playing mind games, manipulation. This one does come out quite a bit as well. So does this one. And we'll do one more. Talking badly, complaining to others, gossiping. So yeah, heavy hitters, this one. But I am so grateful for them in my reading practice. These are very well used, well loved on a daily, consistent basis. I will probably have to eventually replace this one. It's already kind of getting banged up. This one seems to be holding up quite well, but I can be a bit rough because I riffle shuffle and I overhand shuffle quite a bit, and I use jumpers, so my cards tend to take a beating. Okay, all right, moving on. So now we're moving on to the tarot, and let's talk about it. So this is the business class tarot, and it says see your present, change your future. I treat this one more like an oracle. I'll pull 1 to 3 cards and then consult the guidebook if I need to, if I'm not intuitively picking up what I need to from my understanding of tarot or what I can see in the images. The guidebook is amazing. This is by Anthony Dobransky and Jamin Hoyle. It's independently produced, of course. That's what we're talking about today. And I will just show you first the guidebook, this luscious little guidebook. Look at that. It's got a lot of information here. The names of the suits have been changed. Like the money suit, I believe, deals with the pentacles. All right. The majors are actually in the back. Oh no. And I bent up my book. This is, again, this just lets you know, like, I use these indie decks a lot. Some indie decks I hardly touch, to be honest with you. I pull them off the shelf from time to time to look through them. One day I may have to break down and maybe consider selling some of them. We'll see. There's extra cards in this. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I did a flip through of this deck. If I did, I will link it in the description box. We have brand manager. I'm just gonna flip through them and show you the images. If you want more of a proper walkthrough, you'll need to check out the flip through that I'm sure I've done in the past. This is traditionally the strength. I love. This is the Hanged Man. Traditionally, it's bankruptcy, which is an interesting. You would think bankruptcy would be more linked to the Tower, but you definitely gain a new perspective on things, and after you've gone through a bankruptcy, right? So yeah, I use this in client readings as well as readings for myself. I say in equal measure, if not more, for readings for myself. When I was in an active career, like out, working for someone else, I use this deck. Now that I work for myself, I use it for readings for myself, and I pull 1 to 3 cards and treat it more so like an oracle than I do a traditional tarot. It'll complement the other tarot cards that I might have on the table. This is the Hierophant traditionally, or no, my apologies. It is the Emperor. I was just looking at the CEO. Emperor. Mission statement. Due diligence. have your due diligence. So I treat it definitely more like an oracle. Do you know this deck? Do you have it? What are your thoughts? Have you seen my prior flip through of it? Let me know. I want to hear from you. It's a great little deck. It's unexpected and quite helpful in its messaging. So we are at number 3, and that is the Tazana African Tarot. As you can see, the box is worn. I actually keep the deck in the box, and I don't keep it in a bag. Maybe I should have, I don't know. But I love it. I love this deck. Here's the guidebook. I think I like having it come up out of this box. Yeah, I think I do. Look at this gilding. Oh my goodness, this matte gold gilding. This gorgeous, gorgeous backs. Oh, I love it, love it, love it. I love the way it feels. It's that rose petal finish. It feels so good. It feels so good. The colors are just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Ace of Cups. Page of Pentacles. And sometimes I just feel called to use something a bit more regal, a little, more classy, and definitely more melanated. Page of Cups, so this fits the bill. Feels so good. Two of Pentacles. So if you're like me and you are based in the Rider-Waite-Smith tradition for your tarot studies, this deck reads really easily, and it's just lovely to be able to look at these images and really see people who look like me depicted. Ace of Swords. And the colors are what do it for me. At first I didn't know how to feel about the colors because, like, for example, the wands, in this Eight of Wands, for example, I would expect that the warm colors we find in the Ace of Swords, this warm orange, would be in this wands. That's the color I would associate the orange with the wands, and perhaps maybe this color with the swords. But I love the change. I love it. And then we have the Six of Cups. Seven of Wands. Queen of Cups. Oh, look at what I'm doing here. Six of Pentacles. Knight of Wands. And I mostly use this in readings for myself. Every now and then I'm called to use it for client readings, and like not face-to-face client readings. It would be readings like virtual that I would use this, because I do want to baby this one a bit more. It is independently produced. Love this Ten of Swords. It is independently produced, so I want to protect it. Not all of my decks are going to be going out and about with me when I'm doing face-to-face client readings or readings for friends. Oh, it even smells good. Two of Swords. And I know for a fact I have a flip through of this deck. It is just made with a lot of quality, like the quality of this deck is just really astounding to me, and it feels so good in the hands, I have to say. So yeah, that is the Tazana African Tarot. So we are now at number two, and that is the Super Lunaris Tarot, and I love this deck. It has been in my heavy rotation since the start of winter, and I typically use it for all of winter. I mean, I use it throughout the year, to be honest, and you can tell I've been using it. The edges are worn. You can tell I've been really using this deck. That's why it's number 2 on my list of the most used indie decks of 2022. But even, I think I've had this deck longer than that. I don't know if it says here. I don't know if they mention it. It has a little guide booklet. I believe I backed this one. I don't think I pre-ordered. I think I backed it on Kickstarter. I cannot be 100% sure, and I didn't check. I should have checked to see how this little baby came in my possession. Okay, yeah, it was first printed in November 2022, so I've had it since, you know, whenever they released it after that. So here's the card backs. I used it tonight even in a bunch of client readings. And yeah, reads like a charm, reads beautifully. I mean, I do use it for readings for myself, but here's the thing about readings for myself. I don't always have time to do readings for myself. I do mostly readings for others. Here's 2 of Cups. So yeah, there's that. But I really enjoy working with this deck on a consistent basis. It sits on this table, not even my table over here that holds my laptop with all my extra decks. It sits on this table to be ready on the, you know, be on the ready for a client reading. Yeah, it's quite special to me. I know, like, this card, for example, it was a bit controversial, and I'm not going to go into all of that in this video for time's sake. But, you know, aside from all that, I have other indie decks that have had certain controversy surrounding it. And this to me pales in comparison to some of the other controversies I've seen. If you want to know more about that, you can check out the unboxing of this deck. I think I talk about it, but if I don't, let me know and I'll enlighten you if you really care. It's not, to me, you know, I think that this deck was made with genuine care and love from the creators, and so, you know, they're not going to always get it right in terms of certain aspects of certain cultures, and we want them to get it as right as possible, honestly, right? You don't want a situation where you are misinforming and misappropriating, you know, you want to minimize that fully, but it does happen. And yeah, it was something to do with this being the Queen of Cups and the attire this young lady is wearing, and the fact that she's even holding a cup is at issue with this particular tribe that she would be a part of, and the traditions that they would be using. So at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, but I just resolved that, you know, it was not ill-intended, and the creator really tried to get people's inputs on how to create this deck. And yeah, there you go, the Devil. I love this Devil card. It's one of my favorite Devil cards. Chariot. And it is indie, and normally I would baby a deck that has pink shimmery gilding, right? But there was something in me that was like, no, this deck needs to be used. You need to use this deck. It doesn't need to just sit on your shelf. You need to use it. And I love, love, love the readings that it gives. I really do. Look at the little salamander on the King of Wands. Love it. All right. Oh, one more. It's one of my favorite, 8 of Cups. Okay. And then one more after that, Temperance. Okay. Oh, and a death card on the way out. That is the Super Lunaris Tarot. Now at number 1, can you guess which is number 1 of my most used indie decks of 2022? My most used indie tarot deck at that. Well, here we go. It is the Slow Tarot by Lacey Bryant. I'm pretty sure, backed this on Kickstarter, and I use it primarily during either late summer and throughout the season of fall. And this was deck number 553, signed by Lacey Bryant, produced or published April 30th, 2019 by Modern Eden Gallery. So I've had it a while. I've been using it a long time. I know this deck quite well. Here's a little brown book, you know, wonderful little guidebook here. And yeah, I didn't almost want to put it away this autumn to switch it out for the Super Lunaris for winter, but I went ahead. I was like, come on, you gotta change it up just a little. You don't have to, by the way, but I like to change it up from time to time and give my old battered Lightseers Tarot a break, because man, I put a hurting on my mass market Lightseers. Here's the card backs. Check out the flip through, the unboxing to see all of the cards. Here's an extra card extra. One of the card extras is Atonement. Love, love, love this card. Even seeing it now, I'm like, oh, I might have to use this one tomorrow in my client readings. And I probably will. But I've been enjoying the Super Lunaris so much that, I don't know. I have a lot of decks, so, you know, I try to find ways to incorporate using all of them. And so now I've been going through this phase of using my main workhorse decks seasonally. And that seems to help me get some mileage out of my Tarot and Oracle decks. That's in my collection. We have the Chariot, the Ten of Wands, High Priestess. And I share these with you, not so you can run out and go get them, but if you have these decks and you're hearing how I've been using my decks, you might be inspired to go pick that one off your shelf, or to embrace, even if you don't have these decks, to embrace your indie decks, or give them a second look or glance at the ones that you kind of baby but are screaming to be used on a consistent and regular basis. Could be just simply that as inspiration, not to be peer pressuring you to go out and try to find these decks. Of course, if you are in the market, I can personally attest to you that these decks that I've mentioned to you today, all of them, with the exception of maybe the business class tarot, because that is very much a niche deck that you may not find useful in your reading practice, but all of the rest of them, I say, yeah, you can't go wrong with them. Here's the Page of Wands. Here's the Fool. Here's the Fool. Gorgeous. Oh, I love this Eight of Swords. So yeah, I use this deck also a lot, and I probably still will for some of my Mystery Mystic series readings that I do. And I probably will continue to, even if it's not autumn or whatever, I will still pull this one out as one of the decks, my go-to tarot decks. I only have a handful of like 5 tarot decks that I may be drawn to use for mysterious circumstances type readings. So this would be one of them. I plan on doing a video on my top decks I use for those types of readings. I love this Five of Cups. I love him so much. So yeah, there you have it, folks. That is my 2020 top 10-ish Most used indie tarot and oracle decks. What do you think of my list, huh? I decided to change it up this year and just feature those decks that I use a lot, not necessarily ones I keep on my shelf, that I have to wipe the dust off from time to time. No, these are the ones that never collect dust, because why? I'm using them. I'm using these bad boys like all the time. And yeah, I want to hear from you. What indie decks do you have in your collection that you use all the time? You could share also the decks that you will absolutely positively never use all the time because they're an extreme collector's item. They're rare, they're out of print, they are very massively expensive. Share those as well. But I also definitely want to hear from those of you who have these indie decks that you fell in love with, you use like crazy. Share, because other people want to hear about that too in the comment section. Please do me a favor on your way out. Hit the like button if you like this kind of content. It lets me know in the easiest way of you appreciating it, so then I know that would be more kind of content that I can bring forth to you in the future. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, as I am continuously making content and will do so. And I would love to have you aboard and us being able to chit chat with one another. And, I would imagine the only way you know that I'm around is if you subscribe. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe. All right, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Take very good care of yourselves, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye.